Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, my PowerPoint? Awesome. All right, well, for those who watch this and listen to this presentation, I appreciate you doing so. My name is Cody Miller. I'm the principal at Larkspur. I'm going to walk through some information about where we're at in our accountability system in Texas and the plans that we have to improve as a school on where we're at right now. So at Larkspur, we are working to engage students in a relevant curriculum, offer educational opportunities tailored to students' needs, provide a nurturing environment, embrace the joy of learning. We work together to create lasting relationships and to challenge students to think about their learning. And this is our mission statement that was adopted by our faculty last school year: to educate our students with empathy, equity, high expectations, and respect in order to promote social, emotional, and academic growth. I'm going to talk about accountability from the Texas Education Agency. Larkspur is required to have a targeted improvement plan to address the F rating in Domain 1 student achievement. So the purpose of this meeting is to review the campus performance rating and solicit input on the development of the targeted intervention plan goals that will be embedded in our campus plan. So for 2020, the accountability rating we received from the state was not rated declared state of disaster. Under the declared state of disaster rating, districts and campuses shall continue to implement any previously ordered sanctions or interventions. So because we weren't rated this school year, basically our ratings from the previous year still stand. So the data that I'm going to share is 2019 information. So here's the reason for our targeted improvement plan. In 2019, there were 3 areas that we were rated by the Texas Education Agency. The first area was student achievement, and on a scale of 1 to 100, we had a 59, which was an F. In school progress, we had a 72, which was a C, and in closing the gaps, we had a 72, which was a C. So our overall rating as a campus was a C, but that F in student achievement was the reason that we have a targeted intervention or improvement plan. Oh, that says Jackson Keller, and that is not correct. Where's my slide? Hang on just a second. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is our data. It just has the wrong school name. All right. So our achievement in 2017-2018 for all subjects was 62% of our students met the approaches level. Approaches is basic. It's what you would call generally passing. 29% of our students met the meets standard, and meets means that they're on grade level. That number is a really big concern because to only have 29% of our students reaching grade level standard means that 71% of our students are below grade level standard. So we've got a lot of work to do. And then 10% of our students received the master's rating in a test. So the master's rating means that they exceeded grade level expectations. So our overall scale score for 2017-2018 was 59, which required improvement. And then for 2018-2019, which was the last year that we had the STAR test because we didn't have one in 2020, 61% of our students reached approaches. So we were pretty stable there, 1-point decline. 29% reached meets, so we still were only having 29% meet grade level standards, and 11% reached the master standard. So our scale score was still a 59, and the way that TEA rated schools changed. So in 2018, there weren't letter grades. The ratings were met standard or improvement required. In 2018, 2019, there were letter grades, so A, B, C, D, and F, and so we received an F. So part of that calculation is based on how students grow, how much improvement a student makes from one grade to the next. Obviously for third grade, because that's the first time they take the STAR test, there's not an improvement rating. But when they take the test in fourth grade, they have a score in third grade and then they have a score in fourth grade. So we're looking to see if they make growth. And then same thing from fourth to fifth. So this is only math and reading because they only take the writing test in fourth grade, so you can't compare year to year. And they only take the science test in fifth grade, so you can't compare year to year. So it's only for math and reading. At Larkspur in 2018, we had 416 students take a test in reading or math. So those are total tests, not necessarily total students. And of those students, 81 received 0 points. What that means is that they did not grow at all, they didn't improve, or they possibly regressed. So 81 that didn't grow or regressed. We had some students who received 0.5 value, so they got a half point, and I'll show you a chart that'll explain how they get a half point. And then we had 293 tests where the student showed growth from one level to the next level, or they were at the master's standard in their subject area. So we did a great job in growth overall. There's still room to improve because we want to make sure that these 81 have some growth. We don't want kids to regress or to be stagnant from year to year. So overall, our scale score for that was 314 points out of 416 possible. So we received a 75, which was a scale score of 80. So we met standard for growth. In 2019, we had 415 tests, so about the same number, but we had a lot more students get a 0. Which is a big concern, which means that we, again, had students who didn't grow or possibly regressed. We only had 24 students get a half point value, and we had 270 who made a full point. So that came out to a raw score of 68 and a scale score of 72. So there was a big regression there from 2018 to 2019 in growth. So this is how that's calculated. If a student in 1 year is at the did not meet grade level standard, and the next year they get to approaches, they get a full point of growth. So anytime they jump from one level to the next, they get a full point of growth. If they regress, if they go backwards, so a student met grade level standard and the next year is at approaches, they get 0 points growth. But if a student is within their grade level or within that standard area, so they maintain their rating, so we're at approaches and they stay at approaches. They were at meets and they stay at meets. They get a half point growth. So what we really want to see is we want to see the kids jumping from one level up to the next. We want to see improvement. So then the second piece of this is looking at relative performance. So this really fancy chart is basically the way that TEA compares schools so that schools are compared against other schools like them. We want to make sure that as we're looking at our performance as a school, it's being compared against other schools who are in a similar demographic and have a similar percent economically disadvantaged population. So for us in 2019, you can see there, just to the right of this, there's that little dot. We were just below the F line for our economically disadvantaged percent. So we were at 59, which was an F. Then the next piece of the accountability system is closing the gaps. And this area is looking at how we do with special populations of students. Are we helping our students who are English language learners, who are special education? Are we working to make sure that there's equity across ethnic groups? And so in 2018, there were 7 indicators that we had that we met, and so that gave us a 2.1 points. And then our growth was worth 50 points, so our overall score was only 52. So that gave us a scale score of 71. Basically, we didn't do what we needed to with the English learner population. In 2019, we met 11 indicators. So we had 3.3 points. We had lower growth, so we only got 39.5 points on growth. But we did a better job on this indicator of school quality, school success, so we got a point there. So our total was 44 for a scale score of 72, which is similar to what we had in 2018. And that's how we got the rating of a C for closing the gaps. This chart doesn't look like it's supposed to. Let's see. So this says predicted score, but it's not predicted. This is our final information. So you can see here, we had a 72, and for the 72 in 2019, that gave us an overall rating of a C. Our score in 2018 was a 77, so there was a decline there. We want to make sure that we catch that and improve on that in the future. So here's what our targeted improvement plan looks like. This is the board goals and mission statement for the school district. So this is information that you can find on the NEISD website. And for us in reading, we want to really make some big growth. So some of the things that we're working on, it's been a challenge with COVID and virtual learning for sure, but we are trying to do a better job of assessing our students' needs and abilities. So we're using MAP to do that, and MAP reading fluency to help us with the lower grades. And then we also have some campus assessments that we're using to help us evaluate students' abilities and needs and group the kids. We have also purchased some supplemental reading programs that have been approved through our campus improvement plan to help our students, help our teachers, help our students. Our English language learners are using estrellitas to improve their students' reading fluency. And I think one of the biggest changes is that we are having daily small group reading instruction. In the past, that wasn't built into the master schedule. And so now that we have a 45-minute block in each grade level for intervention, and during that time, every teacher on the grade level is working with small groups. And then we also have additional support staff, instructional assistants and teachers and tutors who we're paying hourly to come help provide daily small group instruction. So kids who are needing daily small group instruction really are getting it in a very systematic way that wasn't available last school year. On the bottom left, we have continued to implement 7 steps to a language environment. We're working on vocabulary a lot. We have a vocabulary workshop coming up this Friday for our faculty and staff. We also are looking at, again, the daily intervention and enrichment time. We are working on having a plan embedded in that time for our kids who need a challenge as well, so that they're not just sitting on the sidelines waiting for us to provide intervention, but that there's something that's appropriate for them to be challenged during that time. The other piece of intervention that we've started already is tutoring. Last school year, tutoring started in late January, and initially was only 3rd through 5th grade. This year, tutoring has already started. It started in September, and it includes kinder through 5th grade. So we want to make sure that we provide that extended day twice a week for kids who really need the help. We want to make sure that teachers know who their students are at each of these levels and are able to plan for them to make the growth that they need. We use benchmarks from the district in 2nd through 5th grade, so teachers, even though we didn't have a STAR test last year, there's data that teachers can use to know where their kids are at. And then the MAP test also gives them that kind of data. So we want to make sure teachers really know where kids are so that they can help them grow. We have parent-teacher conferences embedded in our calendar for the year. So we are going to make sure we reach out to parents, talk to them, and have parents working alongside us as full partners in helping their kids make that growth. So if you have other ideas for improving reading at Larkspur, there is a link. If you're watching live, it's going to be in the chat. If you're watching on Facebook, that link will be in the comments section, and you can click on that link and give us ideas that you may have for how we can improve reading. In math, similar, but there are a few things that are different, so I'm going to talk about this. We again are using MAP. MAP is for both reading and math, so we get good information for where students are, what their abilities are, and what their needs are in math as well from that assessment. We again have daily intervention groups, so those intervention times are for teachers to really decide what a student's biggest needs are. They may provide reading instruction during that time or math instruction during that time. We have a 90-minute block or more, depending on the grade level, during which we have number talks, whole group, and independent work. Students are using math journals for spiral review and problem solving. All of our students have access to manipulatives to solve problems. We've even had teachers send home manipulatives with virtual learners this school year to make sure that they have things to use at home. ST Math is a new district online program that we've implemented this year, and we are working to make sure that students have opportunity to participate in iStation for reading and ST Math for math during their computer lab rotation, which is built into the special schedule. So our kids are getting some time in there and can work on that at home. So your child can log into Launchpad, log into iStation or ST Math at home, and do those programs at home. The great thing about ST Math is that it does not have any language, so a child can participate in ST Math without worrying about English or Spanish. We're building math problem solving skills through motivation reading. It's a program called Think Up. There's supplemental materials that we've purchased for the teachers. And then again, we want to make sure teachers know where students are, know how to help them grow from one level to the next, and talk about student progress in parent conferences. So again, if you have ideas about what we can do in math to help our students grow, we would love for you to share those ideas in the form that is linked. Here's the form. So if you're watching this online, you can pause the video to see the link, but again, it'll be in the comments section. So here's directions on how to access the Campus Improvement Plan. Our Campus Improvement Plan is about 8 pages. It has a lot of good information that's pretty detailed about what we're doing to improve. That campus plan changes throughout the school year. So as our Campus Improvement Committee, our CIC, meets and discusses the needs of the campus, which change throughout the year, we will update that plan, and the plan that is at this link will always be the latest plan version. So you can just go to neisd.net, click on About NEISD, click on Campus and District Instructional Improvement Plans, and scroll to Campus Starts With. Put in Larkspur, hit Submit, and then you'll see all of the plans for the last several years, and just make sure you click on the 2021 plan. And then just for if you have questions or want more information about assessments, assessment resources, calendars, everything you could possibly want to know about the STAR test, that's available at the TEA website. And that link is there, tea.texas.gov/student-assessment/student-assessment-resources-for-students-and-parents. Or you can Google it, which is probably a little bit easier. And so that's all I have. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is cmille1@neisd.net. If you've ever received an email from me, you can just hit reply to that and send me questions, comments, or any thoughts. I appreciate your attention. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.
Alrighty. That was good, Dr. Miller.
Thank you, Ms. Costilla.
Alrighty, we're now recording.